Stop the war. You understand?
Please. Listen, don't
put the freaking camera off of me, okay? Because I'm a little too big for you to mess with, okay? Now walk.
Tonight, our crew tries to get the story and instead gets roughed up. Also tonight, the summer sizzler. Will the beach be the place to be this weekend? And then Mets memories. Jerry Grody and John Matlack remember the winning ways.
From the newsroom, this is Channel 9 News with Brenda Blackmon, Lloyd Lindsay Young's weather, Russ Salzberg on sports, and the entire Channel 9 news team.
Good evening, everyone. It started out as a night of whining, dining, and dancing. It ended in death. Tonight, a man is charged with killing his girlfriend in the back of a limo. And tonight, TV crews covering the story got roughed up. Polly Kreisman is standing by live.
Brenda, a week ago tonight, Anthony Palumbo rented a limousine and took his girlfriend out for a night on the town. By dawn, she was dead, strangled on the back seat. Tonight, Palumbo is here at the 84th Precinct in Brooklyn, charged with her murder. Police say early Saturday morning, a limousine driver flagged down a patrol car in Brooklyn because 40-year-old Kathleen DeAngelo was unconscious on the back seat. Today, her 44-year-old boyfriend, Anthony Palumbo, was charged with strangling her while the couple rode in the rented limousine. Tonight, we went to the Rosedale, Queens neighborhood to speak with Palumbo's family and neighbors. But we got more than we bargained for.
Don't play this game between two people.
I'm telling you, I'm
yourself and walk. You understand?
Please. Listen, don't
put the freaking camera off of me. Okay? Because I'm a little too big for you to mess with. Okay?
All right, calm
now
down.
walk.
Walk with the camera
I'm
now.
walking.
Walk with the camera now, or I will push your ass up and down the street.
Things were much calmer at Metrofit, the athletic club in Lawrence, Long Island, where the victim once worked and was still a member.
She was very active, very nice lady, everything else. Just that her boyfriend was very, very jealous guy.
How do you know this?
Bump smoke.
Palumbo will be arraigned tomorrow, Saturday, in Brooklyn Supreme Court. At the 84th Precinct in Brooklyn, this is Polly Kreisman, Channel 9 News, reporting live. Brenda?
Thanks, Polly. The show finally goes on for fans of Michael Jackson. After a bout with dehydration, the singer was back on stage today.
Go for this. Go for this.
And Jam Jackson did, showing no signs of dehydration that forced him to cancel 2 other shows. But as the show goes on, so does a police investigation into sex abuse charges. A 13-year-old claims Jackson fondled him. Police searched Jackson's home, but say videotapes that were confiscated are not incriminating. Meanwhile, friends of Michael's are speaking out.
He has the ability to relate to children like nothing I've ever seen before. And they can relate to him, and it's all innocence. I really believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's to tarnish Michael's name in history.
Another youngster who has spent time at the entertainer's house is also talking, and he says he also slept in the same bed with Michael and nothing happened.
Yeah, you know, there's been different times where it just be me and Michael. Then there'll be other times where he has other friends over, too. This is what, like what Brett said, it's just a slumber party. We just have a lot of fun.
I've slept in the same bed as Michael. It's just you watch cartoons, you fall asleep. You know, it's just a friendship. And I know he would never do anything to hurt my brother. He's the nicest guy you've ever met.
While the investigation continues, so will Michael's concerts. His next appearance is in Singapore. His sister Janet and longtime friend Liz Taylor will fly there to join him. Meantime, Coca-Cola did not miss a beat in trying to keep up with Jackson's sponsor, Pepsi. Coke offered its own solution to Michael's dehydration problem. Michael Jackson's family says they will hold a news conference on Monday. Tonight, the heat is on. A late August heat wave has been hitting our area like a blast furnace. Maybe the beach was the best place to be. Coney Island was pretty cool as long as you could stay in the water. The boardwalk was crowded, too. The water fountain was a popular spot. Some people preferred urban parks, basking in the sun despite the heat. Well, Lloyd is here now to tell us how bad it was and how long it's going to last.
All right, Brenda, thank you very much. I'll tell you one thing, the ocean temperature is 76. Doesn't that sound inviting? We had 100 at Newark today, 96 in the city. The 100 at Newark not only broke a record for the date, but at 2 p.m., Newark was the hottest in the United States at that particular hour. How long will it last? Maybe another 24 hours. There is relief coming in from the west. We'll tell you about that and Hurricane Emily later on. Brenda.
Thanks, Lloyd. Firefighters see it all. Take Sean O'Malley of Ladder Company 13, for instance. Last night, he fished a woman out of the East River. One of her shoes had dropped in, and she decided to go after it. So there she was, hanging on for dear life when O'Malley showed up.
I got down to where she could reach me. She took the free hand that she had and grabbed onto my leg. I think she wasn't panicked at the time, but she was very close to it.
The woman is fine tonight. She never did recover that shoe. A pilot saved his own life by ejecting from his fighter jet today. The F-16's engine died at 33,000 feet. The pilot bailed out as the jet skidded down a runway at the Cape May Airport and crashed in flames. Officials found the pilot in a drainage ditch, shaken but otherwise uninjured. Tonight in New Brunswick, cops say a crime spree was a family affair. As Brenda Flanagan reports, a father and his sons have been arrested and charged in a string of holdups.
Meet the Salgado family of Woodbridge. 36-year-old Juan Sr., his sons, 19-year-old Juan Jr. and 18-year-old Eliza, and two juveniles we can't show you, age 16 and 15. They turned up in Middlesex County Court today, a family all charged in connection with a recent string of armed robberies. Prosecutors called Juan Sr. the ringleader.
It was acts done by family members. I don't know if you want to classify family business. This is what they had been doing on 7 occasions.
Ann Einhorn's one of the Salgado's alleged victims. She runs the Look of Love hair salon in Edison. It's the 6th of 7 businesses the Salgados are charged with robbing at gunpoint. Although no one was seriously injured,
it was the scariest thing that ever happened to me in my whole life.
Prosecutors claim investigations finally led them to the Salgados and that a search of the family's home in Woodbridge allegedly yielded evidence linking the family to the robberies.
The officer seized a pellet gun, knives, mace, items of clothing, jewelry, Italian lira, and other personal items.
The Salgados pleaded not guilty. Father and sons are being held on a total of $900,000 bail. In New Brunswick, I'm Brenda Flanagan, Channel 9 News.
Tonight, a Long Island woman says she was the victim of a sexual fraud. She says her boyfriend was an identical twin brother, and one night the twin jumped into bed with her. She says he only identified himself after the two slept together. The man was arrested and charged with sexual misconduct. He faces up to a year in jail if convicted. The stakes have gone up tonight in a bitter family feud on Long Island. It's a tale of two neighbors bound together forever by a horrible crime. Chuck Gomez reports.
Richard and Victoria Tinez live just down the street from John Golub and his family in Valley Stream, Long Island. They hate each other, and on a regular basis, that hatred is paraded in public.
You're an animal! Your son murdered my daughter. End of story!
If you believe that, that's one thing.
Believe it! He got 25 years to life!
4 years ago, John Golub's son, Robert, 21 at the time, murdered and sexually mutilated 13-year-old Kellyanne Tinez with a bayonet. Since the murder, the two families have filed criminal charges of harassment against each other 57 times. It was more of the same in Nassau County District Court today.
We have determined that there is insufficient evidence in this case to prove the guilt of either defendant beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law at time of trial. And therefore, in the interest of justice, the people move that both cases be dismissed.
Outside court today, the Tinez family announced a $10,000 reward for information leading to the conviction of any additional suspects in their daughter's killing. Matthew Schwartz asked them who they had in mind.
How many other people do you think participated besides Robert?
We don't know. If I knew that, I would have said it a long time ago.
Another Golub son, who was 14 at the time, was in the house at the time of the murder. Police never named him as a suspect. John Golub's reaction to the reward:
It's a joke. It's a ploy. He likes to see his name in print, and that's another way to get it in.
Nassau County Police say they have no reason to reopen the case. Chuck Gomez, Channel 9 News.
Tonight, Al White on your side gets action again. Thanks to a community's anger and his work, an eyesore is being replaced with the new police station house. Back in 1991, people in Coney Island were complaining about an abandoned synagogue. It had become an unsafe haven for drug addicts and the homeless. Al got on the case, and today Mayor Dinkins broke ground on a $5 million police station house. There's a lot more ahead. Dr. Death goes to court, and he shows a dramatic videotape of a patient who eventually committed suicide. Also tonight, a new twist in the Rodney King case. The government wants an appeal. And tonight on Mets Memories, we will hear from John Matlack and Jerry Grody. Another date in court for Dr. Death, Jack Kevorkian, and lawyers for the so-called suicide doc played a dramatic videotape. 30-year-old Thomas Hyde suffered from Lou Gehrig's disease. He could barely speak, but he made it known he wanted to die. Earlier this month, he got his wish. Dr. Kevorkian helped him commit suicide in the back of a van in a Detroit park. Now Kevorkian is accused of violating Michigan's new ban on assisted suicide. Lawyers played the tape of Hyde and Hyde's fiancée to show that the dying man's wishes were clear.
I, Thomas W. Hyde, Jr., the undersigned, hereby request, of my own free will and without any reservations or extrinsic persuasion or duress, that my life of intolerable and interminable pain and or suffering be ended in the most humane, rapid, and painless manner.
The hearing will continue September 9th. Tonight, federal prosecutors are asking for stiffer punishment for 2 cops convicted of beating Rodney King. Stacy Kuhn and Lawrence Powell were given 2.5-year sentences for violating King's civil rights during the 1991 beating. The 2 officers could have received up to 10 years. Tonight, the acting Secretary of the Army has been charged with shoplifting. The Pentagon says John Shannon has been placed on administrative leave after allegedly stealing a woman's blouse and skirt from the Fort Myer Post Exchange. Officials say Shannon will not perform any duties until the matter is resolved. Tropical storm Emily has been upgraded to a hurricane. Tonight, it's about 1,000 miles west of Florida. Some Florida residents are not taking any chances. They're stocking up on emergency supplies, remembering the devastation of Hurricane Andrew a year ago. Lloyd's been tracking the hurricane, talking about Emily now. So what's been going on?
Well, Emily was downgraded to a tropical storm, Brenda. Now she's back up to a hurricane again and could intensify. As a matter of fact, probably will over the weekend. And I'm not so sure South Florida would be the likely target, probably a little further north. Certainly take Emily serious. All right. 84 degrees in the weather lab now. The high today at Newark was a disgusting 100. It was 96 in the city. The humidity is 69%, wind southwest at 11, and the barometer down at 29.99. Good evening, everybody. Glad you could join us tonight. Hello, Muncie. Kim Gianardo, 29 years young. Happy birthday, Kim, and good luck with your lovely daughter, Jamie. All right, here is Emily. She is a mean mama, intensifying, deepening. 75-mile-an-hour winds about 400 miles south of Bermuda and approximately 900 miles east of, I'd say Daytona Beach, Florida, moving west, possibly turning to the northwest over the weekend. And one thing is certain, with those warm Gulf waters, Emily indeed is intensifying. Timing for the United States, my prognostication about Tuesday. Gonna have to wait and see. Science! All right. 94 Caldwell, 93 a record at Bridgeport, 88 out at Islip. Not a record out there, but just horrendous. All right, here's the latest radar. A lone thunderstorm up around Syracuse. Thunderstorm activity rumbling and hitting the Pittsburgh area right now. Hopefully we'll get some thunderstorm activity in here by tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Here's the big picture radar. Severe thunderstorm watch, eastern lower Michigan, northern Ohio. That action shifting eastward definitely could be affecting the tri-state area by tomorrow afternoon and evening. Here is the squall line out ahead of the cold front. And believe me, when you have a cold front coming into this warm, humid, sultry air, indeed a distinct possibility to get that old atmosphere fired up tomorrow. Science! Tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Here's the actual front. High pressure, like just a brick wall, keeping the cooler air out of here, even way up in the mountains at Bluefield, West Virginia, record-breaking 87. Alice, Texas, more than 3 inches of rain, and record heat out west. Even San Francisco was 95. San Jose was 99. I know the way to San Jose. So does Dionne Warwick. National low was 24 at Old Faithful, Wyoming. All right, from the Channel 9 Weather Lab, very warm and humid overnight again. Boy, it's like a broken record. 70 in the suburbs, about 75 in the city. The heat wave continues unabated tomorrow. Hopefully some scattered thunder bumpers late in the day. High again, flirting with 100. Tomorrow night, scattered thunderstorms early. Some could be heavy. 70 to 60, 60s in the 70 to city, 60s in the suburbs. Now, we get it a little better Sunday and Monday, then it heats up again Tuesday and Wednesday. But again, Emily upgraded to a hurricane, 75-mile-an-hour winds moving west at about 9, a threat to the U.S. mainland about Tuesday morning. That's how it looks now. Of course, hurricanes are fickle.
Oh, yes, they are. Thanks a lot, Lloyd.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Still ahead tonight, a token of appreciation for the man known as the world's most famous subway conductor. Plus, the Yanks are in the very tight battle. But first, Bill Vargus has all the action. And on tonight's Mets Memories, we will hear from catcher Jerry Grody and former Rookie of the Year, John Matlack. President Clinton summed up his vacation in one word today. Wonderful, he said, as he got in a few rounds of golf on Martha's Vineyard. He had a new golfing partner, none other than Hillary Clinton. The president said she had not played for 13 or 14 years. Russ is on vacation. He's probably getting in a little golf, too, knowing Russ, right?
Undoubtedly, and the Yankees pitching staff took a little bit of a vacation tonight, too, Brenda. It is the same melody for Melito. Same old song of not getting the job done for Melito Perez. The Yankee pitcher continues to struggle as the Yanks visit Cleveland. First inning, Cleveland touches him up for a run. Paul Sorrento Cheese just over the reach of Don Mattingly to score Wayne Kirby. Sorrento to second with a double. It is 1-0 Cleveland. But the Yankees will come back to tie it and then take the lead in the sixth. Danny Tartabull with another bullseye. 27 in the year, and it's 2-1 Yanks in the top of the sixth. But Perez can't hold it. Bottom of the sixth, bases loaded. Sandy Alomar down the line, double scores 2. Cleveland back up 3-2. Perez is yanked, but Paul Gibson and Rich Monteleone just pour fuel on the fire. Albert Bell says, "You can ring my bell." Doubles home 2, and Cleveland comes away with a 9-2 win, and the Yankees will fall from first unless Seattle beats Toronto. That game is just getting underway. For hitting a batter, the Mets' Doc Gooden has been hit himself with a 5-game suspension. Gooden has appealed today's decision, which stems from the incident last Tuesday in Cincinnati, in which he was ejected after hitting Brian Kelling of the Reds. Now, as you saw here on Channel 9, the Mets had Sid Fernandez on the mound against Colorado, pitching scoreless ball until the fourth. Andres Galarraga takes him deep, solo shot, 1-0 Colorado, but in the bottom of the inning, it is the Mets striking back, 2 men on. Ryan Thompson up, and away, and the Mets go up 3-1, and Sid Fernandez shows his appreciation by clinging to the lead, mowing down the Rockies. 9 strikeouts while allowing just 3 hits over 8 innings, and the Mets win 3-2. In addition to the Doc Gooden announcement, a number of other suspensions handed down by the commissioner's office today, including 7 suspensions stemming from Tuesday night's brawl between Milwaukee and Oakland. Both managers, Tony La Russa and Phil Garner, get 5 games. A's pitcher Edwin Nunez, the stiffest penalty for sucker punching B.J. Surhoff. While Surhoff was being restrained, Nunez gets 10 games. The college football season officially begins tomorrow afternoon with the kickoff classic at the Meadowlands.
The game features Florida State, which was second in the nation last year, is ranked first in the nation in this year's preseason polls, and hoping to impress on national TV.
There's the pressure there, it is to me, of hoping you don't let anybody down. You know, and if you lose a darn ball game, that's letting somebody down. So there is a little pressure there.
The most pressure is on quarterback Charlie Ward, who is so adept at fooling defenses, not to mention cameramen, that he is considered a strong Heisman Trophy candidate.
On the field, you really don't think about it because you don't have time. And, you know, if you're doing well, I mean, people are expecting you to do that. And if you're doing bad, people are going to criticize you. And, I mean, I've learned to live with it, and that's just part of my life now.
Florida State is such a heavy favorite that a lot of people have asked Kansas coach why he even agreed to play them.
I really don't care what other people think, and don't take that the wrong way. I'm not trying to come off as a hard guy. But my only obligation, I believe, is to my players and to my coaches. And they were excited about it, and they wanted to take on this challenge, and they're the ones that have to line up and actually play Florida State. So I thought if they were had the competitive spirit to do it, then that's all that mattered.
Well, one other thing might have mattered, too, the fact that each team gets 625 $100,000 to play in the game. Pro football now, the Jets hope to fly high over Washington tonight as they finish up their preseason. Of course, they haven't won a game yet, and it doesn't appear that they will at this point. Washington with a first quarter drive capped by this Mark Rippon 1-yard play action pass to Ray Rowe, bobbles but holds. It's 10-3 Washington. Second quarter, same thing. The play action, Gary Conklin to Ernest Biner, slipping tackles and finding the end zone. 17-3 Washington. Closest thing to a highlight for the Jets in the first half, the long pass by Boomer Esiason. Well, no, it's incomplete. I didn't say he completed it, but the mere fact that he threw the ball downfield in itself a very rare sight. This is a conservative Jet offense, and so far a very inefficient one. 17-3, still the score in the fourth now. All right, now it's time for Mets Memories, and tonight, Russ with battery mates John Matlack and Jerry Grody.
(1972), John Matlack wins 15 games and is named the National League's Rookie of the Year.
I spent the better part of 3 years in AAA and felt like I was throwing the ball good. Probably they did me a service by leaving me there as long as they did, because I did develop and mature at the AAA level, so when I got to the big leagues, there wasn't any real surprises.
Matlack says he wasn't rushed, unlike many pitchers today.
Some of them are up here trying to learn on the job, and instead of having the seasoning that they might ordinarily get in a minor league situation. A lot of it, I think, is changed because of the aluminum bats. The amateur game has changed. The style of pitching has changed. Fastballs don't develop like they used to. Everybody has a trick pitch and not much of a fastball, seems like.
Matlack certainly wasn't the first Met pitcher of his day to hit the big leagues with a bang. Tom Seaver was Rookie of the Year in '67. And Jerry Koosman lost the '68 Rookie of the Year award by 1 vote to a guy by the name of Johnny Bench. Jerry Grody caught them all.
Catching those guys would have been a hell of a lot better than trying to hit against them, because they could just flat blow you away. And the type of staff that we had with the defense that we had, that's why we had the ball clubs we did. It was great catching those guys.
John Matlack, by the way, currently a pitching coach in the White Sox organization.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bill. Right. Finally tonight, it's the end of the line for a popular subway conductor. Harry Nugent is retiring as the #1 conductor on the #1 line. For a decade, he's opened and closed doors for strap hangers. The riders on his train have always gotten their money's worth. With every stop comes a bit of history. One of Harry's favorite stops, well, it's one of our stops, too, or the favorites anyway, 42nd Street.
Crossroads of the world, and it's certainly been a crossroads of a lot of great memories, epitomizing this great city.
I'm going to miss his happy attitude, waking up in the morning, his commentary.
I feel good when I drive with him. I wish more will be like him.
I've developed a most enjoyable rapport with a great many of them. Their responsiveness, their warmth, their supportiveness really made it worthwhile for me.
Harry said his biggest thrill today came when a regular rider told him how much he would be missed. And another person who will be missed is our own Channel 9's Dick Brennan. He's leaving us, and there's Dick's picture. You also see him a lot in the credits every night. Dick is one of the producers here. We certainly wish him well, and Dick, we will miss you very much. Thanks for joining us tonight on behalf of all of the Channel 9 Newsroom. We'll see you back here on Monday, and don't forget Channel 9 News this weekend. Good night.